Chosen ones, there is a moment when the world feels loud, yet something inside you whispers more quietly. That whisper is the doorway. Many ignore it, chasing noise, chasing speed, chasing shadows. But the chosen know the true call comes not with thunder but with stillness. Attention is not a small thing. It is your entire world. Where your focus rests, there your life unfolds. Lose control of it, and you drift like a leaf in the wind, never knowing where you'll land. Master it, and you shape your path with clarity, no longer pulled by distraction. This is the first act of discipline, turning the eyes inward, steadying the heart, and learning to see with the silence of the mind. In this teaching, I will guide you into that stillness. You will hear why restrictions can bring freedom, why balance matters more than strength, why harmony with reality is greater than fighting against it. I will show you how a strict path can lead to liberation, how no mind transforms reaction into calm action, and why even impermanence itself is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. Stay with me until the end, for each truth builds upon the last. The call you feel in your soul right now is not random, it is precise. It is placed before you because you are ready to hear it. Walk away too early, and the thread breaks. Stay, and the thread leads you home to the deepest mastery yourself. You are not here by chance. You are here because something higher guided you here. This is Shaolin Soulfire. If the flame within you longs for clarity and strength, join us by subscribing, and together we walk the path of discipline, wisdom, and inner fire. There are mornings when the body resists rising. The air feels heavy, the mind clings to comfort, and every thought whispers, "Not today." Many think discipline is about crushing that voice, about forcing yourself with sheer willpower. But that is not true discipline. It is only battle. In the temple, we rise before dawn. The body does not always agree. The muscles ache. The mind seeks excuses. Yet we step onto the cold stone floor. We bow, we breathe, we begin. Not because the feeling is strong, but because the path is clear. Discipline is not punishment. It is alignment. To live with discipline is to honor your word, even when your emotions shift like the weather. Feelings are like passing clouds. They cannot be trusted to guide the whole journey, but the commitment you set with clarity, that is the mountain. Each time you keep to it, even when the heart protests, you carve strength deeper into your being. Over time, something changes. The struggle lessens, not because life is easier, but because you have become steadier. The act that once felt like resistance begins to flow like breath. The body remembers, the mind quiets, the spirit grows spacious. This is the hidden gift. Discipline transforms into freedom. Think of the bamboo. It grows straight, not because it is forced, but because it holds to its nature. Each day, it stretches toward light, even when storms bend it low. In the same way, your small, consistent steps, taken even in weariness, shape you into something unshakable. Discipline is the silent promise you keep with yourself. And every time you honor it, the noise of doubt fades and the strength of your true nature shines clearer. There is a story of a river that carved its way through stone. It did not win by force, but by patience. The river did not demand the mountain move aside. It simply flowed, adjusting to every curve, every obstacle, until the stone itself was shaped by water. This is harmony. When life does not match your expectation, frustration is born. You expect calm, yet chaos arrives. You expect loyalty, yet betrayal comes. The heart tightens, the mind resists, and energy is wasted in battle with what already is. Mastery begins the moment you pause and see clearly. Reality is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Harmony does not mean surrendering your power. It means listening with attention, noticing where things are out of rhythm, and adjusting your step. Just as a musician must tune the string before the song can begin, so must you tune your expectations to the truth before peace can appear. The Shaolin path teaches balance not only in the body but in the mind. Stand in a deep stance too rigidly and the muscles burn out. Stand too loosely and you collapse. The secret is found in adjustment, small corrections, moment by moment, that bring steadiness. Life is no different. When you release resistance, space opens inside you. The heart no longer clenches around how it should be, but breathes into what is. From that place, action becomes clear. You are not dragged by disappointment, nor frozen by anger. You move with the rhythm of life, just as the river flows, just as the bamboo bends. Harmony is not weakness. It is strength refined into wisdom. It is the art of walking with life instead of against it, and in that step, peace and power rise together. On the surface, a form may look like a sequence of movements, stances, strikes, controlled breaths, but the body is never separate from the mind. When you step into martial practice or qigong, the way you move reveals the way you think. A student once asked why his punches lacked power. He trained every day, yet something felt blocked. The master told him, "Your fist carries your hesitation. Until your mind is free, your strike cannot flow." In that moment, the student realized the weakness was not in his arm, but in the weight of his thoughts. Every kick, every stretch, every posture is a mirror. If the mind is restless, the movements are scattered. If the mind is fearful, the body shrinks back. If the mind is steady, the body moves like water, fluid, unhindered. Through repetition, practice doesn't just build muscle, it chisels away at the unseen walls of doubt and resistance inside you. Qigong, in particular, teaches this truth gently. Slow, intentional breathing makes you confront your impatience. Standing still in a posture makes you feel the urge to escape. It is in those moments of discomfort that the hidden training begins. To stay, to breathe, to endure, that is how you expand beyond the limits of the mind. This is why the ancients said that true combat is not with another opponent, but with the self. The battlefield is within, against hesitation, against fear, against the endless pull of distraction. Physical training simply brings those battles into light, where they can no longer hide. Martial arts and qigong are not about perfect form. They are about aligning body and spirit until they no longer resist each other. When that harmony is found, every movement becomes freedom, and every breath becomes strength. In the temple, the day begins before the sun. The bell strikes, and there is no question of sleeping longer. Meals are simple. Training is relentless. Silence often replaces chatter. To an outsider, it may look like a cage, rules, schedules, endless repetition. Yet within those walls, a deeper truth reveals itself. Structure becomes the path to freedom. When choices are many, the mind scatters. It wanders between comfort and craving, never settling, always restless. But when the path is narrow, the heart learns to walk with clarity. The question is no longer, "What do I want right now?" but "What is my duty in this moment?" That shift frees you from the constant noise of desire. A monk once said, "I do not need to fight myself each morning over what to eat, when to rise, or whether to train. The rules have already answered for me. My energy is saved for deeper battles within." This is the hidden strength of restriction. It removes distraction and leaves space for the spirit to grow. The body may bend beneath discipline, but the mind stands taller. Hunger sharpens gratitude. Silence deepens awareness. Repetition forges patience. Over time, what seemed like limitation opens into vastness. The fewer impulses you follow, the more you see which impulses are chains and which are wings. True freedom is not the ability to indulge every urge. It is the ability to rise above them. In strictness, you discover simplicity. In simplicity, you uncover strength. And in that strength, the self is no longer ruled by craving, but guided by clarity. What once felt like a cage reveals itself as the doorway to inner liberation. A man once asked the master how to gain control over others. The master simply replied, "First, see how you are controlled by yourself." The man was confused, but in silence he began to notice his anger rising without reason, his habits repeating without thought, his fears deciding for him long before his will had spoken. Only then did he understand. Leadership begins with self-awareness. The mind is a pattern maker. It repeats stories, shapes routines, and builds reactions from old experiences. Most people live inside these loops without ever seeing them. They mistake habit for choice. Mastery begins the moment you step back and observe, why do I react this way? Why do I repeat this cycle? that seeing is the seed of freedom. When storms come, and they always do, it is easy to be swept away by fear or confusion. But resilience is the art of staying rooted even as the winds howl. A tree with deep roots bends but does not break. In the same way, self-awareness allows you to recognize the storm without becoming it. Chaos outside need not become chaos inside. This is why the ancients taught, conquer yourself and the world cannot conquer you. A leader who does not see his own shadow spreads it onto others. But one who has faced his fears, observed his anger, and disciplined his desires becomes a presence of steadiness. Others naturally follow, not because he demands it, but because he embodies clarity. True mastery is not about control. It is about understanding. It is the quiet power of knowing your patterns, breaking those that weaken you and strengthening those that align with your purpose. From that foundation, every step you take carries weight, even in the middle of chaos. A swordsman once trained for years, yet his strikes always felt heavy, delayed by thought. He calculated angles, measured distances, planned every motion, but in real combat, his mind was too slow, tangled in decisions. One day his master told him, when the mind is busy, the blade is dull. When the mind is empty, the blade is free. This was the teaching of no mind, Mushin. No mind is not absence of awareness. It is awareness so complete that there is no need for thought. Action arises naturally, without hesitation. Just as a bird does not think before it spreads its wings, so too the trained mind moves in perfect flow when freed from distraction. In martial arts, this state is glimpsed when body and spirit align. A strike is thrown, not because of calculation, but because it simply must be. A defense rises not from planning, but from presence. The gap between intention and action disappears, and movement becomes effortless. This principle extends far beyond combat. In daily life, overthinking clutters the path. Fear of failure, constant analysis, and endless what-ifs slow the heart and cloud the spirit. No mind teaches another way: to be fully present, to trust the discipline you have built, and to act without dragging the weight of doubt behind you. Reaching this state requires practice. The body must be trained until movement is second nature. The mind must be disciplined until silence is natural. Then, when the moment comes, there is no resistance, no delay, only action, pure and complete. Mushin is the freedom of a clear lake reflecting the sky, still, undisturbed, yet alive with depth. From this place, clarity is not forced, it simply shines, guiding every step, every breath, every strike. A young monk once swept the same courtyard every day for years. One morning, weary of repetition, he asked his teacher, "Why must I keep sweeping? The dust always returns." The teacher replied, "Yes, the dust returns, but so does the dawn. Will you stop honoring the sunrise because it has come 1,000 times before?" Practice, when seen through impatience, feels like burden. The mind grows restless, saying, "I already know this." But true mastery is not about knowing. It is about being fully present again and again, no matter how familiar the act seems. To sweep as though for the first time, to breathe as though for the first time, to step into practice with the freshness of a beginner. This is the essence of openness. When you show up like it's the first time, you strip away the weight of assumption. You begin to notice details missed before: the sound of the broom against stone, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet shift of light across the courtyard. What once felt ordinary becomes alive again. The mind loves to cling to patterns, to move on autopilot. But when you enter each moment as new, you awaken from that sleep. You reclaim the richness hidden beneath repetition, and slowly the distinction between practice and life dissolves. Every gesture becomes alive with awareness. In this way, repetition is no longer dull. It becomes the path to presence. 1,000 bows, 1,000 breaths, 1,000 steps. Each one carries the chance to touch truth, if you meet it with openness. The beginner's mind is not about inexperience. It is about freedom. The freedom to see the world and yourself, as though for the very first time. A stone falls into still water, and circles spread outward until they touch every edge of the pond. This simple image carries a truth many forget. Nothing you do stays with you alone. Every thought, every word, every action extends beyond your own life, touching others in ways unseen. There is a story of a villager who lit a lantern outside his home each night. When asked why, he said, "So travelers can find their way." One lantern seemed small, but as others began to do the same, the entire road glowed with light. One act of care awakened 100 more. This is the power of the ripple. Your inner state is never private. If you carry anger, it leaks into your speech, your posture, the energy you bring into a room. If you cultivate peace, that calm steadiness settles those around you. The world reflects the quality of your being. Mastery, then, is not selfish pursuit. It is service. By transforming yourself, you lift the ground for others to walk upon. Discipline deepens this truth. The choice to rise early, to breathe with awareness, to meet difficulty with patience, these are not only for you, they shape the atmosphere that others live in. A parent's stillness teaches a child resilience. A leader's clarity steadies a group. A single drop becomes an endless wave. Ancient teachers often said, "The universe is one body. When one part heals, the whole is strengthened. Your growth is not separate. Your peace is not isolated." When you choose mastery, you are answering not just for yourself, but for the greater circle of life. The ripples extend farther than you can see, carrying the quiet power of your transformation into the hearts of many. A monk once held up a blossom and asked his students, "How long will this flower live?" Some said days, some said hours. The monk smiled and replied, "It is already fading." In that moment they saw beauty exists because it does not last. This is the truth of impermanence. The mind often resists change. It clings to comfort, fearing loss, hoping to freeze moments that were never meant to stay. Yet everything around us is in motion. The seasons shift, the body ages, even the breath comes and goes. To deny this is to live in illusion. To see it clearly is to awaken. In mindful practice, impermanence is not a source of despair, but a source of clarity. When you know that nothing is fixed, you begin to ask, what is worth my energy? What is real beyond passing appearances? Trivial concerns lose their weight. What remains is gratitude, presence, and a sharper sense of what truly matters. Discipline grows from this recognition. You train not because you can hold youth forever, but because strength, while it lasts, is a tool for awakening. You meditate not to escape time, but to meet each moment fully before it fades. Awareness of change makes every breath precious, every action meaningful. The ancients taught that clinging creates suffering, while acceptance opens the heart. When you stop grasping for permanence, you find peace in the flow itself. A river is never the same twice, yet its song is eternal. In the same way, life is fleeting, yet its essence is revealed in each fleeting moment. Impermanence grounds you in reality. It strips away illusion and teaches you to walk with humility, gratitude, and the quiet strength of one who knows each step is both temporary and infinite. The voice you hear is not outside. It has always been within. It calls you not to chase the world but to return to yourself. Each breath, each step, each small act of awareness is the path. Discipline is not harsh, it is gentle guidance. Balance is not distant, it begins with how you meet this very moment. Carry this with you into your daily life. When distractions rise, return to stillness. When restlessness stirs, steady your breath. When illusions press upon you, remember that peace is not found outside. It grows where you stand right now. Mastery is not a distant peak. It is the quiet strength of choosing presence again and again. May these words guide you to walk lighter, see clearer, and live with deeper grace. If this message spoke to you, let the journey continue with us. Like this video, share it with those who seek the same path, and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, where discipline, wisdom, and inner fire are cultivated together. Peace be with you.